Hello, welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Out from behind his material boldly leaps into the classroom like a paratrooper jumping into the sky over Normandy. Naturally, she's not as heavily equipped, but in her grim resolve, she's a match for any screaming eagle. Without such intestinal fortitude, there's no way the girl could charge so defenselessly into that classroom. Well, unless she's simply unaware of the situation. Seems like the latter. You are a truly foolish woman, Michiru. And here I was, filled with admiration for your kamikaze spirit, to think you were just wallowing in ignorance. Because you didn't ask. That's right, the situation. B. A flying pest has occupied our classroom and now lies in ambush. Our classmates have all withdrawn from the field. Uh-oh. That's not good. This is exactly why you're known as the most brainless of bimbos. Every action should be taken only after consideration of the worst case scenario. Don't you have any common sense at all? Okay. It's not very nice. What kind of an idiot opens a door without assessing the risks? Whenever you open a door, do so in steadfast resolve to find Somalia waiting on the other side. You're not worthy of my instruction. If you're that determined, I suppose I can make an exception. Step 1. Confirm the surrounding area. Standing in front of the door, I demonstrate by pointing sequentially to the ceiling, the floor, my front, my rear, my left, and my right, following with my eyes. Observe with the utmost caution. You understand? Search every inch of your surroundings on the assumption that they hide deadly traps. Quiet. We've just begun our 6-hour stakeout period, of course. What? By all rights, we should obtain a map, infiltrate, and watch from cover for a week in advance. I'm granting extraordinary permission for our raid after nothing more than an observation period, and you're still not satisfied. Just how far do you expect me to indulge your laziness, you spoiled bottle blonde, and you call yourself Japanese? Very well, I'll teach you the simplest possible method, using nice small words. First, we slowly open the door. Then, we throw in the decoy. Next, we close the door and stand by until the decoys report. Listen up, maggot! You have a scouting mission to complete. Desertion in the face of the enemy is treason. If you turn your back on our foe and come crawling to safety, I'll re-educate you with my own hands. Calm down and maintain your composure. Don't let panic blind you. Use those holes in your head you call eyes. You're truly hopeless. Very well, I'll go so far as to sing a song to give you courage. La la, gleaming like the morning sun. Walter, pregnant, what? Okay. That song probably makes more sense in Japanese. I see, she's decided to silence her breathing and hide. Compared to noisily trying to escape, there's a much wiser course of action. She's gained such instinctive understanding of the art of reconnaissance in this short time. It's here, my friend. We might make a scout out of you yet. Cheers collapsed on the floor, her eyes rolling around in her head. What's all this then? Hey, maggot, who authorized you to feign? Calm yourself. This thing is nothing more than an insect. Be eliminated. Situation resolved. Oh. I told you to calm yourself. This kind of bee can't sting. Listen well, a bee's stinger is a part of its ovipositor, therefore males don't have one. Look closely, this thing is harmless. They jumped to conclusions and mistook this for the dangerous variety, ran off to get insecticide or something. That's a giant hornet. It stings. Also, it's poisonous. Uh-oh. It'll sting you if you shout. Keep quiet. Listen carefully, Machir. Giant hornets don't just sting. They inject potent venom, slight digression. But this thing is called the yak killer because of its poison cocktail. Oh no. I don't like bees or hornets either. Don't like any sudden movements. Walk slowly and keep quiet. Fortunately, you're blonde, so your coloration is similar to that of a hornet. In other words, there's no problem if he accepts you as his friend. Oh, offering it a bohemian folk song, very sensible. When they clack their mandibles together like that, it signifies a final warning. If you make any more stupid moves, you'll be stung for sure. It's ejects a tank with an atomizing nozzle and hose into the room. It looks like it's designed for spraying agricultural chemicals. Apparently, it's full of her own cocktail.
ミチル様の周辺を蜂がホバリングしてる。これは私お手製の神経毒が効果を発揮しそうですね。毒を持って毒を制すというやつです。では霧吹きで噴霧しますのでしばしお待ちを。ちょっと待ちなさい。あんた今何毒って言った？
Neurotoxin. Sounds like it'll take that hornet out for sure.
それをこっちにプシュプシュされたらまず私がどうにかなっちゃうでしょう。大丈夫です、ミチル様。吸い込みさえしなければ問題ありません。いいですか？呼吸を15分ほど止めることはできますよね。さあ行きますよ。せーの。できないわよ。ねえサチ、できないからね。そうですか。ではこれは使用できませんね。一発でコロリなんですが残念です。私がコロリでしょそれね。
We've got to come up with a plan B, or this won't end well. That hornet is pretty worked up.
それでなんでこの蜂私だけを狙ってるの？
Just what did you do to that poor hornet?
してないと思うよ。だって私わかんない。やっぱり髪の毛の色が似てる。それともツンデレが女王蜂とキャラかぶってるとか？ミチル様、やはり一吹きだけでもいかがでしょうか。一吹きでも効果はありますので。効果があったらダメなんだってば。そうですか。今度は低空飛行で飛んでる。
Seems to be aiming at your legs. Material, do you think you'll be needing those in the future?
当たり前でしょ。
I see.
騒がしいわね。ユミコ、こっち来ちゃダメ。え、何？ちょっとわからないんだけど。いや、そうじゃなくて足元にゃ。待って、朝からあんまり大声出さないで。
Stepped on it.
何？ちゃんと話してくれる？なんでもないです。そう、それならいいんだけど。
The squashed hornet stuck flat to the bottom of her shoe. Sakaki walks to her desk and takes out a book. Although the girl glances over here briefly, she soon pulls out her bookmark without another word and begins moving her eyes across the lines of text. Sachi, there's got to be a nest somewhere nearby. Think you can find it and give it a dose of that cocktail of yours? はい、かしこまりました。つまり、ユミコ最強説ってことね。 Not the type you want to make an enemy of. With this, the hornet incident draws to a close without casualties. Just as they say, at times, ignorance is bliss. After middle school, you won't be popular with the girls if all you can do is fight. You need brains too. Or so my master taught me. So, are you smart then? In response to the obvious question, my master replied that women are more popular if they're a little dim-witted. I think she might have intended it as a joke, not that it was remotely funny. My master wasn't much of a comedian, but there's one thing I have to thank her for. Specifically, she's the one who really got me hooked on reading. There are a vast number of books in this world, and a majority are interesting in some way. Even if you get stuck with a seriously dull one, if you look at it critically and figure out why it's a failure, the time you spend with it isn't a complete waste. I devoured books like an addict when I was a kid. And my master would get me anything I wanted to read, even comics or prom magazines. He got you that. It's a darn good thing if you can enjoy reading. Why? Lets you make use of the time you spend waiting in the dentist's office, doesn't it? Am I supposed to laugh now? Not to say that I've gained much wisdom from what I've read in waiting rooms, but I think I can at least smile at those words today. Makina, are you here? Hey, Makina, why aren't you in your room? True. Yes, there was a note on her door. Thing is, the paper was yellowed and wrinkled. There's no telling how long it's been up there. Are you always in Amane's room? Yes, the room I've just entered is in fact Amane's. Looking around, a good half of the room is buried in random junk. I guess Makina has been doing her best imitation of a squirrel preparing for hibernation, depositing things here little by little with every visit. I appreciate the neighborly spirit, but this isn't your room. Nothing much, just stopped by to lend Makina a book. It's for that thing. Yeah, I point toward one item among Makina's pile of junk, an aquarium containing her crawfish. She asked me if I knew any books with detailed instructions on raising crawfish, so I took a look around a store by the station. Sorry about that. Here, this is it. The part about raising crawfish starts on page 38. The last 2 pages talk about getting them to turn blue. As soon as Makina accepts the book from me, she sits down on the spot with a thumb and starts to rifle through the pages. When I tried this experiment as a kid, there was a range of variation among the individuals, but most of them did turn some shade of blue. I don't really know a lot about them. By the way, Amane, I have a question on my own. Do you mind? Why exactly are you constantly... what do you... No! She's in her room, of course she's gonna be like this. Oh my god, you're the one in her room. I'll try to work on that. But, I mean, I think you do the kya thing and hide your chest before I got a chance to bring it up, usually. Amane, no more concerned with my glance than before, walks briskly to her vanity and flips on a hairdryer.
私って汗っかきでさ、夏場は1日3回ぐらいはシャワー浴びるのよね。
Oh.
油断してると、
3 showers.
の下に汗もができたりで大変なのよ。
Big boobs are tough in their own way, I see.
ね、お兄ちゃん、なんか飲もう。
Yeah, if you're offering.
じゃあ、ちょっと待っててね。今用意するのよさ。
Makina places her book on the floor, opens Amane's refrigerator, then promptly sticks her head in and starts moving around like she owns the place. It's basically as much her room as Amane's by this point. Just how long has Makina been hanging around in this room?
そうね。マキナがこの学園に来てからずっとかな。この子、一人だと夜中に大声上げて泣くから。失敬なのよさ。今はもう泣かないのよ。時々自分のお部屋に帰って寝てるもの。月に一度帰るかどうかじゃない。しかも私に怒られた時とかそんな時ばっかり。ねえ、お兄ちゃんはああやって意地悪なことばっかり言う女をどう思う？
They say it's a rare thing to find a woman other than your mother who will nag you. Take good care of her, alright?
お兄ちゃんまでそんなことを言う。随分と住みにくい世の中になったものよさ。飲まなきゃやってられないのよさ。
As he speaks, Makina hands me a can of orange juice. Look, Makina, can we do something about this Oni-chan thing?
なんで？
Well, how can I put this? It feels a little awkward.
そのうち慣れると思うのよ。私もマキナって呼ばれるの慣れたし。
What do you mean? You don't like being called by your own name?
実はね、私マキナって名前あんまり好きじゃないのよさ。
Oh, and why is that?
マキナってバギナみたいなのよさ。
It sounds like... No, what?
だからバギナ。
It sounds like Makina, Deuce Makina, and I see, well, that's certainly a very feminine name.
でもね、バギナって言うとなんかアイドルっぽいよね。
You said before, it sounds like Ex Machina. Alright. Yeah, whatever you say. Hey, Amane.
何さん？
Is this girl high? Just what are you putting in her food?
失礼ね。何も変なものは食べさせてないわよ。
So she says, but this is like talking to one of those guys who self-medicate the night before a major operation. I feel like I'm dealing with someone who sees things they shouldn't see and hears voices they shouldn't hear. Instinctively, I drop my hand onto Makina's head and vigorously ruffle her hair around.
痛えよ。
Your pupils don't look dilated.
そんなに疑うならあんたも食べてく。
What?
だから晩ご飯。今夜はおでんにするつもりだから人数増えても平気だし。ほほう、おでんと違います。あなたが今想像したのは北欧神話の最高神です。ボケをインターセプトされた。がっかりなのよさ。まあいいからいいから食べていきなさい。
Hey.
下手に断ってアマネーに恥かかせちゃダメなのよ。いいからおいで。
Makina seizes my hand and tries to forcibly drag me further inside. Well, alright, fine. There probably won't be anything I dislike in an Odin stew anyway. I'll eat pretty much anything that's put in front of me, but I do have some foods I find a little difficult to deal with on a psychological level. Yeah. Offered a cushion with a cute, girly design, I sit down a bit reluctantly. In an instant, Makina has plopped herself down on top of my knees. Oh, look, you. Why are you sitting on my lap? That's not what I'm saying, but... That line's familiar. I hadn't realized until now, but Makina seems to have a habit of imitating Amane's speech. Now that I think about it, that, she's always tagging on to the end of her sentences for no particular reason. Seems like it might be a corruption of Amane's frequent, And Makina's forcible tone and attitude toward men also remind me of a certain someone. They do say pets start to resemble their owners. Someday, this girl might well become the sort of evil woman who walks around with her boobs hanging halfway out, seducing struggling shopkeepers into giving away their livelihood. We can't have that. To tell the truth, from my current position, Makina's modest breasts are clearly visible. For those of certain tastes, these things might have a power to tempt, exceeding that of Amane's oversized udders. Okay. Hey, Amane! Why does this girl jump onto men's laps without a second thought? I'm leaning toward blaming you. I'm not saying I hate it, but if she starts casually hopping on top of strange old men in town, I think we might run into some problems. Well, we've had a couple chances to talk recently, I guess.
それにしたってこの子がこんなに早く男の人に懐くのって初めてよ。あんたマキナに何したの？
Nothing particularly comes to mind.
男の人とは話すのだって苦手なのに、マキナとまともに会話できる男の人って八百屋のおじさんぐらいよ。
That a fact? So why has Makina gotten so attached to me? I don't remember taming her with food or teaching her dirty games behind Mommy's back. I searched my memory, but nothing really stands out. Completely disinterested in my ruminations, Makina pushes her can of orange juice toward me and tilts her head to the side as she asks for help. A pretty standard pattern among women playing the moe type, who try to tickle the male heart with an appeal to their own helplessness. But Makina's fingers are stubby and thin. I wouldn't be surprised if opening a can really was a challenge. Yeah, here we go.
なんかあんたたち本当に仲がいいわね。マキナがこんなに人に甘えるのって珍しいわよ。
And if you tried to pull something like that, I'd probably punch you, right?
なんで私本人に同意を求めるかな。それで私になんて答えろっての？
So she doesn't let just anybody pamper her like this.
そうね。私以外にそうやってベタベタすることってほとんどないかな。
I see. Whether or not Makina is paying any attention to our conversation about her, she continues to flip through the book on my lap without comment.
もうマキナ、おっぱい見えてるってば。ブラしなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。あれ、きついのよさ。きついって言うほど出っ張っちゃいないでしょがあんた。いいからおいで。もうちょっとで読み終わるのに。ほら、着せてあげるから立って。
Amane reaches her hands under Makina's armpits and forcibly drags her up off my knees. A sense of emptiness might be going a bit far, but the sudden removal of that limp, warm creature from my lap leaves me feeling slightly lonely.
Hi, ちゃんと自分の足で立つの。もう足踏んでるし。ごめんよ。もうほら、キャミ脱がすから万歳して。万歳。
Hey, how about having her put her clothes on by herself?
この子服着るの下手なのよ。っていうか服が嫌いなのね。病院ではずっとスモックしか着てなかったって言うし。
Gowns?
ほら、病院で手術を受ける人が着るやつ、背中で縛って着るの。
Right.
あればっかり着てたせいか、ゆるっとした服じゃないと嫌がるし。こうやって誰かが服を着せてあげないとパンツすら履かないのよね。ちょっと。あまね、痛い。我慢しなさい。こうやって背中と脇の下から脂肪を寄せ集めてカップに詰めるの。そうすればほら、ちょっと出っ張るでしょ。息苦しいのよさ。女ってのは息苦しいものなのよ。はい、できた。どう？巨乳？
Yeah, they're shockingly big. What do you eat to get a pair like that?
パン？あとイチゴ。そりゃ単純にあんたの好きな食べ物でしょうが。
So Makina likes bread and strawberries best, huh? kind of childish tastes, but I guess that fits with her personality.
基本的にあんまりご飯食べないのよこの子。でもなぜかパンと果物だけはよく食べるのよね。パンは硬いパンがいいのよさ。
Hard bread? What's with that?
ほらフランスパンとかドイツの方の硬いパンあるでしょ。日本人は普通さふわふわでもちもちしたパンが好きなんだけど、なぜかこの子は重くて硬いパンが好きなのよね。ふにゃふにゃしたパンなんざ歯の悪いグランマの食い物なのよさ。パンはやっぱりどっしりとした重みと歯ごたえがないと美味しくないのよさ。まあ朝はあんまり食べたがらないんだけど、チーズとハムとレタスをライ麦パンに挟んだサンドイッチならもりもり食べるわよ。
I see.
ねえアマネ、私もう本読んでいい？いいわよ。ちゃんと床に座って読みなさい。ユージ君の膝の上でジュースこぼしたりしないように。
You don't have it easy, do you, Amane?
まあ手のかかる子だけど、そこが可愛いって思えばあまり苦にはならないし、変な子だなとは思うけど、これがあの子の素の状態なのよね。
I'm the sort who tend to suspect the girl's purposefully acting younger than her age to take advantage of her childish looks. But in this case, I don't think I can disagree. That really is just how she is.
それにね、あの子自分で自分のことバカだって言うけど、そんなに頭が悪いわけじゃないのよ。むしろ私なんかよりずっと頭いいんだから。
Well, I suppose if we use you as a standard, the gap isn't quite that dramatic, but...
失礼な。というか、マキナを侮っちゃダメよ。証拠見せてあげようか？
Demonstration?
マキナ、ちょっとおいで。何なのよさ。あんたその本読み終わった？そうね、大体は。じゃあその本ちょっと貸してみ。問題出してあげる。いいけど。
Amane takes the book from Makina and promptly hands it over to me.
そんじゃ161ページ。動物の進化シリーズ大型恐竜の時代中生代ジュラ紀、約1億4600年前から2億年前、中生代第2の時代はジュラ紀と呼ばれ、恐竜の時代としてよく知られている。誕生期に出現した恐竜たちは数多くの種を生み出し、その繁栄は後の白亜紀まで続く。あれ？これってザリガニの本じゃないの？
It's a general book about animals aimed at children. There's a lot of other stuff in there as well. I opened the book Amane handed me to page 161. Spread across both pages is a color illustration of a plesiosaur with words in a bold white typeface printed all around it.
内容は合ってる？
She was indeed, without even a single misplaced word.
じゃあ次は29ページ。そこは広告ページ。合文社の子供の学習シリーズ、働く自動車 神秘の世界宇宙、野鳥で見る環境科学、絶滅した愉快な動物。日本の工場、コンタクトレンズができるまで土と微生物の働き、有機栽培の野菜作り。じゃあ86ページは？猫より犬の方が賢いって本当？犬の種類の多様性は他の種をはるかにしのぎ多岐にわたる。長年人間の手によって交配されてきた犬の歴史は狩猟用や刀剣用や愛玩用とさまざまなバリエ今なおその種を増やし続けている。どう？合ってるでしょ
？She's correct, alright.
どうよ、すごくない？この短時間でパラパラっと流し読みしただけであの本の内容丸々一冊全部覚えちゃったんだよ。天才じゃない？
Yeah, that's pretty amazing to be sure.
あれ？あんまり驚いてないね。
Makina, I've got a question. Do you remember the photograph of a bird on page 144?
覚えてるのよ。
What color is it? If I say blue, you'd sort of think blue. But if I say red, you get the feeling it might be red. Thought so. Seems like Makina memorizes the pages in monochrome, loses the color information. Easier to memorize it quickly that way, right? To tell the truth, my sister had the exact same skill. Oh, I first noticed my big sister speed reading when she was 7 years old. Watching her flip through a stack of books from the school library incredibly quickly, I couldn't suppress my curiosity. Can you really read them like that? My sister answered, I'm not reading them, but I am memorizing the contents, in a perfectly casual tone of voice. Completely incredulous, I tested my sister on the spot. Exactly like Amane did with Makina just now, I gave her a page number and asked her to read me back the contents. And, of course, she remembered every single word. According to her, it's much faster to memorize the books when they're in black and white. When dealing with books where color information wasn't important, she could even memorize 2 pages simultaneously, using her left and right eye. I was totally dumbfounded at the time. Whoa. 4 years later, by the time she was 11, my sister was managing rapid memorization of color books as well. And thanks to long hours of practice, her left and right eye could actually memorize separate books simultaneously. Hearing that went past the level of surprise. It was outright terrifying. Basically, she's not reading the book, she's recording the pages as an image in the right side of her brain. When you ask her about the contents, she reproduces the image in her right brain and reads it by consciously interpreting the characters with her left brain. That sound about right, Makina? I don't know the details myself, but it's basically looking at the page as a picture instead of lines of characters and saving a mental snapshot. Ignoring the meaning, she processes it rapidly as light information, then draws out the meaning later on if she needs it. To put it more simply, it's sort of like she's downloading a compressed file to her hard drive, then extracting what she needs later, I guess.
何それ。つまり本を読み終わった時点では本の内容を知らないってこと？
Yeah, exactly.
私の一番の問題は、一度覚えたはずなのに、その記憶をどこにしまったか忘れちゃうことなのよさ。
ダメじゃん。
Even if you can record something in your mind, your memory as a whole can still be a disorganized mess. Apparently, you can work on that by training your synapses. If you repeatedly memorize the same information, it stimulates your, I think that's synapses, is it? And makes it harder to forget. Synapses. My sister would record the same image 8 times over before she turned the page. Oh. Other than that, you can also memorize while moving your body in specific ways, which ties the image to your procedural memory and makes it more durable. That's fine. Not like there's any reason you have to turn into a genius like that.
そうそう。天才になったところで得られるのは賞賛じゃなくて敵意と嫉妬だって言うじゃない？
Who's they? Where did you hear that?
誰だっけ？なんかの本で読んだような気がするけど覚えてないわ。
ねえアマネ、ザリガニに餌あげる時間だよ。
はいはい、今缶詰開けてあげるからちょっと待ってなさい。
Okay, I guess I'll be going back to my room, but as the words start to leave my mouth, Makina firmly grabs hold of my hand.
座って一緒に本を読んでほしいのよさ。
Didn't you finish already?
そうだけど一緒にいてほしいのよさ。
No, that's really not what I meant.
ねえ、知ってる？女には男に甘えたい日があるものなのよ。
Oh, that's the first I've heard of it.
それがなんと今日なのよさ。だから甘えさせてくれなきゃダメなのよ。
I see. I guess there's no helping it then. I want to be spoiled, so you better spoil me. What an unreasonable demand. If this was Amane, I think I would laugh in her face, call her an idiot, and finish things off with a poke to the forehead. But for some reason, when Makina gets all clingy, it's a bit difficult to fight back. I can't get myself to be too hard on her. Maybe it's because she looks and acts like a child. Soft on children. Well, that isn't a bad thing by any means, but I'm probably the type who dies first when the terrorists start strapping bombs to their kids. But now that I think about it, it's not like you're really that much younger than me, are you? Don't give me that puzzled face.
まあまあ、ほら、こっち来て座って、そして抱っこしてちょうだい。
Look, just for the record, today's a one-time deal. Don't think I'll let you cling to me whenever you want. Got it?
はいはい。もうお兄ちゃんでは本当にツンデレなんだから。
Again with this. I never really given the matter any thought, but could it be that I really am a tsundere? I mean, can we define the term first? Isn't the tsundere a subspecies of woman that's usually prickly and harsh, but then goes all gooey and sweet for some reason? In that case, I don't get it. When exactly have I ever been in that saturating lovey-dovey mode? Well, come to think of it, and letting Makina occupy my knee like this, I have to admit my aura of masculinity seems to have faded a bit. But this is merely an expression of my magnanimous spirit toward the young. It's not like I'm giving her lab access because I personally enjoy having her there or anything.
そうだねえユージ君
What?
そういえばさザリガニの餌ってサバの水煮缶でもいいのかな
Yeah, basically anything without carotene in it is fine.
おや
What's that supposed to mean? What is it already? You're making me ill. If you have something to say, how about you say it?
いやなんかもうすっかり懐いてるなぁといいな羨ましい
You're the one who told me to make friends with Makina, you know.
やだな別に責めてないじゃないでも正直こんなに早く馴染むとは思ってなかったからちょっと意外かなあれマキナ寝ちゃった
Say what? I thought she'd been unusually quiet for a few seconds there, but at some point Makina's eyes have fallen shut. Still sitting on my lap, her head is jerking back and forth with her breathing. I'm sure she was awake just a minute ago.
マキナはねたまにあるのよそうやって突然寝ちゃうことが
Come to think of it, there was that time I found her in the rose garden, unconscious in the bushes. A frequent occurrence?
まあ頭をたくさん使った時とかたまにねさっき本を読んでたからそれが原因かもその子放っておくと1日14時間ぐらい眠るのよ
Really does remind you of a cat, doesn't she?
時々立ったまま寝ちゃうことがあってそのまま倒れて頭を打ったりするから気をつけないといけないんだけど今日はユージ君の膝の上で助かったわユージ君のこと相当気に入ってるみたいね
Yay. I don't get it. Why get attached to someone like me?
そう私にはなんとなくわかるような気もするなそう例えばさユージ君はマキナのことを見てかわいそうな子だなって思う
No, can't say it does. More like, what a hopeless kid. I can't say I've ever felt pity for her.
でしょまずはそれが一番の理由じゃないかな
Is there a number two reason?
そう しれないけど、ユージ君ってマキナのこと嫌いじゃないでしょ？っていうか、ちょっと可愛いと思ってない？
Yes, I'm not sure about that one. Well, I definitely don't hate her. That said, I think I've thought of her as annoying more often than cute. Maybe you've got the wrong idea about me, Amane, but I tend to say what I think, even to kids. When Makina annoys me, I tell her straight out.
そうやってマキナが膝の上で寝ちゃってるのにどかそうともしない人の言うことじゃないよ、それ。
That's, well, just don't have any real reason to wake her up at the moment, I guess.
でもまあ、そうだね。変に我慢して同情されるより、はっきりと言ってくれる人の方が分かりやすいのね、マキナには。
I don't treat her gingerly out of sympathy. When she does something truly stupid, I don't overlook it out of pity. And Makina actually prefers it that way. Is that what she's saying?
それでいて、結局はマキナに甘いしね。そりゃ懐くわよ。
I'm sweet to her?
まあいいんじゃない？そういうらしくないところも含めてユージ君なんだしさ。
Since when were you such an expert on my character?
お、マキナ起きた？まあ15分ぐらいかな。何か夢を見た？
覚えてない。
そっか。じゃあはい、俺。
何？
サバ缶だよ。ザリガニに餌をあげるんでしょ？
そっか。たくさん食べてまるまると太るのよ。
She's kind of tottering around. Is that a good idea?
いつものことだし平気よ。
これ味がしないのよさ。
You sure about that? She seems to be eating from the can of crawfish food.
いつものことだし平気よ。
You know, it kind of feels like you don't really care. Care.
それもいつものことよ。
My throat sticks shut halfway through my attempt at a laugh, and I'm sent into a coughing fit. Amane grabs the half-finished can of orange juice Makina left lying on the table and hands it over to me. I gulp down the contents immediately. I'm fine. I'm as terrible at laughing as I am at smiling. Also par for the course.
それはいつか直してあげなきゃね。
Fix? Why is that necessary? In the first place, is a crappy smile really something you can fix?
まあとりあえずあんたの作り物っぽい笑顔と、マキナのデタラメな言葉遣いを直してあげるのが私の当面の目標かな。
私の言葉遣いのどこがおかしいって。
まず自分の言葉遣いがおかしいってことに本人が気がついていないってのが一番の問題よね。
うっさいしゃくれ。
あんたなんやその口の利き方。しゃくれてへんわ。ほんでこん子はほんま。おい待ち。
ダメ。
口の悪い。ええ加減にせんとお口縫うてまうよ。
そんなに強く引っ張ったらダメだよ。
Oh. Every once in a while, you'll find a person with a bad habit they're not even aware of until someone points it out to them. Watching this scene, I've had my suspicions more or less confirmed. Makina's strange quirks seem to be partially the result of contamination from Amane's less admirable habits. Admirable. But as a humble and discreet gentleman, I'm frankly at a loss as to whether to disrupt the status quo by informing Amane of the log in her eye. My deeply ingrained pain warning system is also kicking in. There's a good chance the messenger is going to get killed on this one, so my lips are remaining sealed for the moment. The human mind is a well-designed piece of machinery. It has ways to cope with the coexistence of such pros and cons, truths and fictions. When your mind finds itself facing a contradiction, your thoughts tend to fly off in completely unrelated directions. It's a self-defense mechanism, just like that burning need to clean that always pops up the night before the big test. So, before I realize it, my attention has been drawn to the pleasant rattling sound of something boiling in the pan. The Odin broth's smooth, flavorful smell tickles my nose. I'm hungry. In the end, it would be another 30 minutes before I ate my dinner for that day. Fun. Well, I'm definitely learning more about these girls. Bye.